All right, but let's go ahead and get started here. Today we're going to be talking about automation and scheduling for Webgility Online, exactly what that means, how it's set up, and oh, my mic is drooping, and
Hmm.
how to make sure that it's set up properly for you. So, just to do some introductions, my name is John May. I am the engagement manager here for Webgility. I've been here for just over 5 years, I believe. Started an implementation and now am sort of the face and voice of Webgility, if you will. I'm joined today by Faizan, who is on our implementation team. There's senior implementation manager. If you want to introduce yourself, Faizan.
Thank you so much, John. Hello, everyone. I'm Fazan, a senior implementation manager and successfully onboarded 800 plus onboarding in last 5 years of my span with
Sheesh.
Webgility. So every day I work closely with customers on onboarding, training, and workflow optimization using WebGility and QuickBooks. I spend most of my time helping businesses automate their orders, inventory, and accounting processes across multiple sales channels and stores. And today I'll be walking you through how automation in WebGility can save time, reduce manual effort, and streamline day-to-day operations.
Awesome. Yeah, and just to go through the agenda here real quick, this is going to be probably a pretty quick webinar, compared to some of the other ones that we've had. The automation tool, specifically in WebGility Online, is very straightforward compared to our desktop product, which has a lot more bells and whistles, little things that you can do to adjust the way that it's set up. The WebGility Online version is pretty easy and again straightforward. So. Uh, to start, we'll go through order settings because I think it's important to, explain how setting up your order posting settings, how that will affect automation. Because the automation tool just sort of takes those settings and does it for you automatically. So we'll start off with the settings and then we'll move through to how to set up the scheduler, how to make sure that you're setting up those scheduled runs for posting orders and refunds and everything else. And then there's a few, not necessarily caveats, but specific workflows or I guess things to call out when it comes to purchase orders and refunds and other types of transactions that are going alongside your regular orders. So we'll cover those. And then, as always, we'll end it with a quick Q&A. But I wanted to hand it off directly to Faizan. We're going to do a live demo today, just show you exactly what we're talking about. Again, as we go along, if you see something on the screen that you want us to explain a little bit more in depth, feel free to let us know, either again in the webinar chat or the question and answer box. So let me kill my share and you can take it away, Faizan.
Thank you so much, John. Let me know when you see my screen.
It's loading, it's loading. There we go.
Is it visible now?
It is.
Okay, that's perfect. All right, so we're at the dashboard screen of WebGility, and at the bottom left corner, we have an option here to automate, right? We can configure the automation settings right from here, the scheduler rules. But before we automate, I would like to let you know how many features we can automate for WebGility online. So it is but obvious that we can download and post orders, refunds, expenses and fee for Shopify, eBay, Amazon, and most importantly, deposits from Shopify. We can automate this whole process. But from the product module, WebGility is capable of synchronizing the sale price, quantity of items between QuickBooks and Shopify or QuickBooks and Sales Channel. And for some stores, we also allow cost price to be synchronized between your QuickBooks and Sales Channel. So let me walk you through the settings here. Now I'm in the automation. I selected the drop down and scheduler rules over here. So here's the automation settings. So first of all, at the top, I'm going to highlight the option. The first option, how frequent do you want WebGility to run the automation? Now we have two frequencies available over here. First, nightly, like right after midnight between 12 and 1, WebGility automation run and the features what we are going to enable, it will automatically process them, like posting orders, posting refunds, recording fee, or inventory syncing. Secondly, we have 15 minutes of frequency, which means in every 15 minutes on real time. If I go with this automation frequency in every 15 minutes, whatsoever options I'm going to enable throughout this setting, WebGility posts them automatically. Now, the next part, next option, it is all about email notification. So if I enable it, WebGility will send email notification after midnight. Once the automation cycle is complete, then WebGility will trigger an email, send it to your primary email address or primary user of WebGility that these many activities it has been accomplished, like how many orders posted, if any orders which failed to post due to any error, refunds, how many item quantities are synchronized. So it's a complete summary of your automation.
And I have a
Secondly,
quick question on that actually.
sure.
If you have it set to 15 minutes, does that email notification still get sent out nightly? I know the tooltip says that it does, but does it send
Oh,
out every time it syncs? I would assume it's still just the nightly.
it's just a nightly, once a
Got it.
day,
So yeah, it'll just give
right?
you that daily roll up. Got it.
Correct. Now, when it comes to automation, we have two options over here, how you can automatically post your orders. So number first, it's consolidated order posting. Second, auto posting automation, which means if you want to post every order individually. Um, People or merchants, they prefer to post consolidate order for Amazon when there are like thousands of orders on daily basis and they don't want to create every record every order individually. So what they generally do, they just configure the setup to create one invoice or sales receipt and club all the order details over there. So if you are willing to post orders in a group, you just need to enable this option, set the exact date from which date you want to post orders, and every day, let's say if you have received 300 orders or 1000 orders today, WebGility club all the order details within one invoice or sales receipt and it will post the orders. But this consolidation, it works on nightly basis. You cannot run it in every 15 minutes. Secondly, second option we have, if you're willing to post orders individually, so here we have the option post orders. I simply enable the options and select the order statuses that I would like to post. Like currently, it is only selected for shipped order, which means if order status is paid and shipped on your sales channel, then only WebGility posts the order. And these order statuses, it varies on the store to store. Like for Shopify, it's paid, unpaid, fulfilled. And for Amazon, we have these many order statuses. So based on stores, order statuses varies and you can enable the options that you want to do. Then we have products. Now, when it comes to products, we can synchronize the price and quantity of item. First, we need to select from which direction we are going to sync, or in other word, which is going to be the master data for your inventory syncing. So QuickBooks, let's say if I select QuickBooks to sales channel, which means whatever quantity count, sale price we have in QuickBooks, WebGility retrieve that information, prepare the list of conflicting items, and then update the quantity count from QuickBooks to sales channel. Now, the first option, enable automation for inventory sync. This option particularly, it is all about quantity count. So if I enable this option, let's say if I want to update the quantity from QuickBooks to your store, Amazon store, then we can do it. Second, synchronizing the prices. If I enable this option, it will update prices. Now here is one catch with Amazon. WebGility only synchronize the price and quantity for merchant items. It won't synchronize the quantity for FBA item. Then we have
And that
refund.
makes sense, right? Because
Mhm.
Amazon's managing those products specifically, so we wouldn't have any control over the inventory, right?
That is right. Amazon never allow any third-party application or any integrated app to update the quantity count for
Yeah.
FBA. They manually update it or they update it or handle it on their own.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Next is refunds. So if you are planning, like as I mentioned, if you have hundreds of orders and would like to create one refund receipt or credit memo for refund order, you can simply enable it, and WebGility will record all the refund orders in consolidate manner if you want to post them individually. So we can enable it. People generally go for consolidate order posting option when they place order or process order for marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, Walmart, and Etsy, because marketplaces they never share primary contact detail like email addresses and phone numbers. But if it is your own website that hosted through BigCommerce, WooCommerce, Magento, Shopify, or any other platform, then majorly people prefer to record every single customer information for remarketing purposes. Now we have marketplace fee. This section it is all about expenses and fee. So if I simply enable this option, what Webgility will do, Webgility will post your settlement report. Whenever Webgility download the settlement report from Amazon, then it will automatically post them to QuickBooks. This option, it is all about like if there is a, refund adjustment amount which is not matching. So Webgility also creates sales receipt. And the last part, it is all about syncing shipping fee. With Webgility, you can integrate ShipStation and Shipping Easy to download shipping cost, tracking information of the order from ShipStation and Shipping Easy. So if I enable this option, Webgility will record the shipping cost, the amount what you're paying for generating shipping label to ShipStation and Shipping Easy. Webgility will record it as an expense.
Cool. And
So
that's only if ShipStation or Shipping Easy have been connected, right?
right, it has been connected to Webgility only.
Got
So
it.
as I mentioned that these settings vary, right? And I would like to let you know that right now I'm in the Amazon store profile. So we need to configure setting for Amazon store. Like if I just save this setting, it will apply this automation setting only on Amazon store. Like if I go to connection, you can see my Webgility account. It is connected to multiple sales channel. These are all my test accounts. Webgility, Magento, WooCommerce, Walmart, Etsy, Amazon, see, Wix. So I just configured the automation setting for Amazon. We connected multiple stores and every single store Webgility consider as an independent store profile. So we have a separate configuration for auto posting and automation setting. So let me redirect to dashboard screen. And at the top right corner, I'm in the Amazon store profile. So if I switch it to eBay, then most of the options are going to be same, such as order posting, refund posting, synchronization, fee, but you will see changes into the options over here, like the
Yeah.
subcategories. Yeah.
Yeah. Just the like those very specific like sales receipt
Mm,
option specifically for Amazon.
right. So here we go. All the settings, all the options are similar, right? But here we have only sync payout fee automatically. Earlier, we have two options with Amazon. Sync shipping fee is similar. Now, if I switch it to Shopify, then in the product settings, you will see with we will have a new option over here, a cost price, along with inventory and sale price. So you can synchronize sale price, cost price, and quantity of items. Take a look.
Yep. There it is. Syncing for inventory, syncing price, and syncing cost.
Right.
All very good information.
So these settings are very store to store, but we need to configure every single store profile separately. Like
Yeah.
if I enable auto posting option, like I want to post individual order from Shopify, individual refunds and payout fee, payout deposit, shipping fee, everything from Shopify. And I want to post consolidate orders from Amazon store profile. So it completely depend on the setup. So you can just configure separate settings for both for across all the stores. It completely depend on the business requirements.
Yeah, and I think it's important here to call out that automation, and you might already have planned to say this, but automation is generally the last step that we take when we're talking about setting things up in WebGility, right? Because we want to make sure that you're comfortable with how the data has been passed from your store to QuickBooks through WebGility. So just like you're setting up each automation rule for every store, that follows you setting up every store's order posting settings themselves, right? So all automation does is it automates those tasks, but when it comes to the
Hmm.
data that's being passed, you want to make sure that each of your stores is set up to accommodate how your business runs that specific Amazon or that specific Shopify. Because, like Faizan said, for Amazon, there's some specific workflows that you need to do to make sure that things get passed correctly, that you don't like, import a bunch of junk data into your QuickBooks because Amazon's going to give you not real customer data. So that's why you would pick consolidated. Whereas in Shopify, for every order, you probably do want their customer information because it's not junk data. So you would you would probably generally go with importing every single transaction individually with that customer data. So just felt like it might be good to call out that it's all sort of related. And it really is sort of dependent on how your workflow is. And that's what is great about Webgility is that we sort of want to be able to build something that can work with anybody's workflow or any store's workflow. So
That's
sorry to
true.
interrupt.
No, no, that's totally fine. And in addition to this, the best practice to turn on the automation, first, disable the automation and test the application with manual workflow to understand the mechanism, how things are working in the background, behind the scenes. Like whenever I do the onboarding, first I explain the whole like demonstrate the manual way of operating this application, how you can record orders manually, manage inventory, so you can see how the process is going on. Because when I just turn on the automation, it everything starts running in the background. Okay, you have turned on the automation, you can do your stuff, and WebGility is posting the orders. So automation definitely save time, reduce error, improve scalability. You get more time on marketing, but it is really important to monitor the activity at least once a day, how it's going on. And yeah, it's all about the requirements. Mhm.
Yeah, well said.
Right.
All right. Any questions so far? Anybody have anything they wanted to ask about the automation, the scheduler? I know, like I said, this is a very, very quick, very straightforward
Mhm.
session. Not a lot more to cover than this, right?
Mhm.
I know at the beginning I mentioned that we would talk through like how purchase orders and refunds are processed. It kind of gets covered in us going through the settings, right? So if
Right.
you have purchase orders set up in your
Mhm.
settings for your Shopify, as an example, when you go and automate your orders, it's going to create the purchase order automatically for you.
Just for the information, with Webgility Online, we cannot create the purchase order. It's just orders, refunds, expenses.
Oh,
Purchase
I'm
order
thinking of
feature we
desktop.
providing with the desktop. That's right,
Yeah.
John. It is with the desktop application.
Okay. So
Right.
minus purchase orders, refunds,
Hmm.
expenses, everything that you've set up in your settings under
Hmm.
sync settings will be communicated into the automation. So if you have you know, invoices set up, if you have a specific setup in your settings, the automation scheduler is just going to automate what you already have set up and would have done manually, right? So, making sure that your settings are exactly how you want them. Then, as Faizan said, going and doing it manually, making sure you're comfortable with how the order information gets passed from one place to the next, and then finally turning on the automation scheduler. I don't know if you mentioned this, but it's something that I like to call out. Obviously, there's the option at the very top for how frequently you want to run it. The nightly is the default, but the 15-minute option is available. Something that I like to call out is that it's not technically 15 minutes. It won't run every 15 minutes depending on how much data you have. This is a lot easier to explain on our desktop product where you can set specific intervals. On our desktop product, you can say, hey, I want it to do every 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20. Here, the 15-minute option is essentially as close to real time as we can get. It might not run every 15 minutes on the dot, but it's going to run every time that it can, and as long as it takes to get through your catalog. So if you have a catalog of like 20,000 products, it's probably not going to go through that every 15 minutes. It has to go through and parse all of that information individually and then post it all automatically. So if you're not seeing it on that 15-minute on the dot mark, just know that it's the way that I like to explain it is as close to real time as we can get. It's all dependent on how big your catalog is generally.
Hmm. That's right.
Cool. Was there anything else you wanted to cover, Faizan? I don't think there's anything else
That
that
is it
really.
from my side. Yeah, I mean, this is all about the automation. It is as quick as, it is simple and as quick as possible.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Right.
I'll open it up here for questions if anybody has any questions that they want to ask, anything that they want us to show, even if it doesn't relate to automation. These are, I like to call them sort of working hours. So if you have questions just in general about Webgility Online, how it works, something specific, just let us know. Ask in the chat. If you do have questions and, like later in the day today, you're like, dang, I forgot. Feel free to let us know. Either email, give us a call. You can do it through chat as well online. If you want to do it through Webgility Online, there's a little chat bubble at the bottom right. And we can obviously answer all those questions. Um, doesn't look like we're getting any questions. So I guess
Hmm.
we can end it here. One thing I did want to let everybody know of is we just recently started a new whiteboarding series. I host a whiteboarding session every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And it goes through I like to call it just scaling topics, growth topics. So where these customer webinars are more centered around how Webgility works, how to get the most out of as a customer. The whiteboard sessions are more of a sort of like a thought process, creating a framework where I create a whiteboard session for some big topics, and we go through it to explain the whole process. So tomorrow's session is about sales pricing and increasing your margins, how you should raise prices if you ever wondered how you should raise prices or how to do it without losing customers or upsetting your existing customers. I think that's a good one for you to attend, so I'll drop the link here in the chat if anybody would like to register for that one. Again, it's every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. The topic changes every week, and they are recorded and sent out as well. So if you do miss it, we're happy to send you the recording.